Hi, this is Owen Fitzpatrick. Welcome to the OFI Pat, the blog with attitude. Now today I want to talk to you about the World Cup and in particular 5 key secrets of the most highly effective performers. What do all the best performers in their chosen sport do that allows them to be so successful? I also want to look at how you can apply those same strategies to business as well. So the first secret of highly effective performers is that the most effective performers around have tremendous self-belief. They believe with every fiber of their soul that they can really be better than anyone else out there. So it doesn't matter if they go out on the golf course or if they're playing a match. I remember Henrik Larsson when he played for Glasgow Celtic in the 2003 UEFA Cup final against FC Porto. He went out there and on paper FC Porto had far better players than Celtic, but he believed when he walked out onto that pitch he was the best player there, and he proved it. And again, if you can look at examples like that, you'll realize that if you can prove it to yourself how great you are, and you can build that tremendous self-belief inside of yourself, when you do go out there, you'll perform at your absolute best, which will be, exactly what you need to do, both for your team or if it's an individual sport, for yourself. Now you can apply that in business as well, because the most successful business people as well believe in themselves. They recall all the great times they've succeeded. They start to remind themselves of their value, and by doing so, they allow themselves to perform as well as they can. The second secret to highly effective performers is the ability to be able to focus on your own performance. So it's not just about relying on the team around you, but it's focusing on how can you play at your best? How can you do your job to the best of your ability? I remember when Ireland first beat England a few years ago, in rugby, it was the first time, at least in a few years. The team talk they got before the match was that every player knew exactly what they had to do, and they were told to do it as well as they possibly could. And because they did that, the whole team was able to work together and succeed. Now in a business context, this is also important. In order for you to be able to perform really, really well, you need to be focused on your own job. Let other people do their job, and by doing so, you develop the ability to feel good about the fact that you're really making a difference yourself. You take care of your stuff, they'll take care of theirs. The next step is to make sure that you deal with the motivation aspect of things. That means a lot of times people forget about failure. They just focus on what they want to think about. But you need to remember the feeling of failure. You need to have a double-edged motivation. Motivation towards what you want to achieve, how great it'll be to succeed, but also motivation away from failing, when you failed the last time and how bad that felt. By that double motivation, it'll allow you to make sure you perform as well as you possibly can. Now, this is true as well in business. If you want to be as motivated as possible, or if you want your staff or team to be as motivated as possible, they have to be aware of what's at stake here. Not just what they will receive if they achieve it, but also what's at stake if they don't. By reminding them of both, you have double motivation, which makes it far more powerful. The next step is what I call bounceability. Bounceability is the secret of highly effective performers, because it's the ability to be able to bounce back after you've failed, after you've made a mistake, after a shot goes wide or you play a bad hole on the golf course. One of the most important things you can do is to focus on what is the next step. What is the next shot that you're going to take? What is the next hole that you're going to play, and how are you going to play it differently? You need to immediately focus on succeeding the next time, learning from your mistake, but immediately implementing what you've learned to succeed. Again, in business, this is highly important, because when you're performing in business, when you're selling, when you're negotiating, whenever you're making a presentation, whatever you might be doing, you need to apply what you've learned in the previous attempt if it wasn't successful, and immediately get the results the next time. The next step and the final secret of highly effective performers is that highly effective performers have a need to excel. They're not just happy with winning. They want to be at their best. Every time Tiger Woods goes out onto the golf course, he's imagining in his mind succeeding, being successful, achieving what he wants to achieve. He's always focused on that. That's his main drive, to excel, to become as great as he can be. You have to have the same thing if you're going to be successful in your own sport. You have to walk out onto the pitch, you have to go out onto the course, you have to go to the table, in all ways wanting to be better than you've ever been before. And because you're in that mindset, it will allow you to perform far better than you normally would. In business, again, this is important. When you're performing as a highly effective performer in business, you need to always be looking at how can you get better? How can you deliver better service to your customers? How can you make sure that you create better ideas, clever ideas? How can you give the best deal possible? How can you create the best kind of product possible? How can you perform as well as you possibly can? By imagining and thinking and having the desire to excel, you find yourself performing better in all different aspects of life, from sports to business. I hope these 5 secrets in highly effective performing are of use to you, and I hope that you're able to implement them either in your sport or in your business. But for now though, this is Owen Fitzpatrick. Please do let me know how you found this useful in terms of in the blog, in the comment section. This has been the OFI Pad, the blog with attitude. Best of luck.